Hey, Coach. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Eric?
Good. Ready to jump right into it?
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get started with the questions.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Matt, what's up? How are you?
How you doing, Pat?
I'm good. Hey, I want to be clear. Are you guys under the NFL's protocol because of the interaction with the Panthers? And how is that different in your practice facility than it was last week when I know you guys were taking steps as well?
Yeah, we are, Pat. We are in the protocol, and it's really not that different. It's just that the adjustment with the schedule is what basically what we're doing this week is what we did last week. So that's where we're at right now. The guys have handled it well. We're basically going right into to practice right from the walkthrough. So and then eliminating, like right now, the guys, they'll head home after practice. We don't have individual meetings. They go home and then we get up with them and do some stuff later on through technology.
Were you put in the protocol last week or did you elect to do that?
No, last week was protocol as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Dan Wiederer.
Matt, you obviously know this Rams defense personnel-wise pretty well from the last 2 years, but how different does this defense look with the scheme changes that they've made? And how do you notice Brandon Staley's influence on the way it looks and feels with the way they're playing now?
Sure. Yeah. No, it's a lot of the same family of stuff that you know that he's going to do. You can see that. And again, once you go to another place and you have some things that you like that you learn from. So when he learns this defense from Vic and is there with him, there's going to be some things that he wants to put his own spin on. And then on top of that, he also wants to be able to use whatever he's doing. He's got to base that off of the personnel that he has as well. Now he's got some pretty good personnel there, but I'm seeing a lot of similarities. There's some things that are a little bit different schematically, but for the most part, you can understand that what he's using right now is stuff that he did for some parts, with Denver and with us.
What were your impressions of who he was as a coach when he was here?
Yeah, I remember when I first got here, just really the whole defensive staff in general. It's a weird deal when you first get here and you have a staff that has been here before and you don't have any ties with them. So you get to learn who they are as people. And I thought that he was an extremely hard worker. That again, a younger guy coming into the system, just trying to do everything he can to be a great position coach at that time. I also remember too, when we made the trade for Khalil, and all of a sudden he's in here putting a lot of extra time in and work in to give Khalil work on the front end. So he's done a really good job there. And again, credit to Vic too, right? For teaching him and giving him an opportunity.
Jason Leisure.
Matt, 4 games in with Foles now. I don't think that he has played quite the way he wants to or you want him to. As far as acclimation period versus really judging how he plays, how much time do you give him before you start taking a hard look at it?
No, I don't. I really don't, Jason. I think for us right now, there's a lot more for us to continue to try to get better offensively in a lot of areas. I'm speaking on the offensive terms. And I knew when I made the decision, I knew that this thing wasn't going to be like a magic wand where you just all of a sudden he comes in and lights it up or does this or does that. That wasn't going to happen. It's going to take a little bit of time. The good thing is that we're winning. The good thing is that we understand we got to get better. So every day we just keep practicing, but there's no sense of urgency where you start, getting concerned one way or the other. There's really not.
Brad Biggs.
Hey, Matt, how do you evaluate your offensive line to this point through the games you've played and with what you can do in practice in terms of, pads and stuff like that? How much can that group improve in the weeks and months ahead?
Yeah, we're going to see. I would say right now that we started out pretty good. I really felt good with the offensive line in both phases. I probably felt better in the run game than I did pass pro in the first 3 games. We all know for different reasons against the Colts and against Tampa Bay that it wasn't our best showing. And that wasn't just the offensive line. I mean, that was our offense in general. So last week, I thought, again, you have a starting left guard that's out. You got a new guy that's in. but really there's what I think can happen at times, and you'll see it when you watch it if you haven't already, is you'll see there's every now and then you get a play where you got 10 guys that are doing the right thing. I mean, like spot on. And then there's just one guy that's a little bit off, and that little bit off can get you. And so the beauty is that with Juan and with these players, the offensive line I'm talking, they're working their tails off every day in practice to fix that. And the other part too, that I think for myself, when I look at practice habits and what we're doing, is I told you all at the beginning of the year that I wanted to be the best head coach I can be and really be good with, staying on top of the details, the little things, and not always just the X's and O's on the offensive side, but all the other stuff, right? And some of that, in my opinion, goes to the tempo of practice. And what happens is once you start getting into week 6, week 7, week 8, the guys start getting a little bit further into the year, they can get a little more tired, and it's natural as a coach to pull up a little bit. Today, we were thumping. Today, we were going hard, and we had those pads on today, and I'm telling you, they were going really good. I credited the guys. And so I hope that our offensive line and our defensive line appreciates the look team and how great of a look they gave them today. But that's, I think that's all a part of it.
Adam Hogue.
Hey, Matt, it's 2 years ago, you guys pretty successfully slowed down Aaron Donald. Last year, not so much. I know you're not going to tell me what you did differently, but what makes him, you watch the tape, I mean, what makes him so hard that he just keeps coming and coming and coming? And do you notice anything different this year with the scheme, or is he just in kind of a unique spot where he just does what he does?
I would say a lot. I don't want to say he just does what he does, because that sounds like he's going rogue. I mean, they obviously put him where they want to put him to use him as an advantage. I'll just say this, like I said the other day, I mean, this is a guy where, every time you put on the tape, you can see where he's at, and your eyes go right to him, and he's a heck of a player. The burst that he has off the line of scrimmage at the snap, it could be a simple run play, and he just anticipates before you snap the ball, and he shoots the A or B gap, and next thing you know, he's taking the handoff. That's natural for him. When he gets one-on-one and he goes ahead and has a certain move that he uses, a technique he uses, he's so strong and so compact that it's like a spring. He just shoots out of there. And then even when you think you have him on the edge and you got 5-yard distance running away from him outside the hash, next thing you know, he jumps out like Superman. He's just like sprawling and like trying to tackle you from behind. He's all over the place. He's completely obsessed with just playing really hard when he's out there. He doesn't care how many people are on him. And you got to know, I mean, if you think that they don't think that we're going to have to know where he's at, we're foolish. We all know we got to know at all times where he's at. It's just how we're going to do it and how we get to it.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Matt, how easily does no huddle fit or not fit into this offense? Like as opposed to like I formation last year, which you had some success with. It was hard to retrofit your offense for that. But if no huddle became some kind of golden goose for this offense, would it cramp your style as a play caller or coordinator to use it more?
No, I don't think so. I don't. I thought it was a good mix up last week for us to be able to get into. We were just at that point right then and there where let's test it out. It can't hurt, and then we started getting some yards there. So, we've had it for a couple years. And even if, you all remember the last couple of years, there's been some times, I think even more last year, where you saw, hey, the offense was going a little bit in no huddle. It's a change of pace deal. There's a little bit of an art to it, and it takes practice time to be really good at it. So there's just trying to figure out, okay, how much of it do you want to do, and does it work against the defense, and do you like it, and what are you doing before you come too one-dimensional. So I don't think you're off by saying, is it good? Yeah. It just depends on how much you want to do it.
Steve Weish.
Hey, Matt, when you play a defense like this, it's got a player, a corner like Jalen Ramsey, who can travel with a guy. How does that impact, your play call or what Nick will have to do at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, well, I mean, regardless of where he's at and who he travels with, having a corner like that has the ball skills he has, the confidence that Jalen has, the technique and fundamentals that he has. There's a reason why he's one of the top in the league. Then he starts traveling with guys. And so that's just schematically what they got to choose if they want to do that or not. You're seeing them play more in the slot this year. He's playing more inside. They're moving him around. So it can definitely make it challenging. And I think that's our job, is when you have a player to his caliber, is to, okay, what's our answer and how do we want to handle that, knowing where he's at, so when you have playmakers like that on defense, like they have, it's from my end, I understand now how offensive coordinators have to look at our defense, very similar way with some guys. So you just have to respect that. And then you got to put together a good plan.
2 more for Coach. Cam Ellis.
Hey, Matt, given the way that he's been kicking lately and, the confidence you talked about on Sunday, is there any, path or realistic possibility to Cairo keeping the job, regardless of Eddie's health?
Yeah, so for me, Cam, it's such a week-to-week type deal. But again, my confidence in Cairo is high. It really is. I have trust in him. He's done it. He's shown it. And it's always been that way with him, even from the very first day he got here, before he even made an extra point or a field goal. I have that, and that's a good thing. And you have that. I have that too with Eddie, but Eddie's not out here, right? He's not here. So it's a good problem to have for us right now, that when you have that as a coach, you have that trust element involved. And I think he proved it the last couple of weeks. And is he going to be perfect? I don't know that answer, but I do know that we don't have to play different because Cairo's our kicker. I do know that.
Last one, Mike Berman.
Hey, Matt, what's up? Nick, from the outside, Nick always strikes me as someone who's very calm and cerebral, but we got a sense after that game for some of the fire that he has in his post-game comments. How much of that is behind the scenes is happening a lot as he's working hard, working with guys, trying to get this offense to a place where you guys are happier with what it's doing, and maybe whatever his disposition is behind the scenes, how is that, or how do you think it will help you guys get where you want to go?
Right. So here's what I would say, Mike, in regards to Nick, is one thing that he doesn't do is he's not scripted. He doesn't prepare a plan or script. He's a off the hip cusp type of guy, where I don't know what the exact question was that to his response to that answer, but when he feels passionate about something, he's going to go right into it. And I think you felt that, we all felt that. And whatever came out is what was on his mind and what he believes. And, when you have that trait, and it's a natural born trait, it permeates through your teammates. And it's obviously done that for him in his career. It has not always been a bunch of highs for Nick in his career. There's been a bunch of lows for him. But for a lot of players in this league, and I'll just speak about from the quarterback position, it's not always easy. But to me, it's about the guys and how do they respond to negativity? How do they respond to criticism? How do they respond to losing? How do they respond to getting hurt? Do they fold up shop and just say, okay, it wasn't meant to be? Or do they bounce back and have success stories? He's done that. He's done it. So this stuff here, that when our offense is struggling a little bit and he's playing quarterback, and that's like that's not a big deal to him. So for him, you understand that. Why isn't it a big deal? Well, it's not a big deal because he doesn't care. It's a big deal because he does care and he knows we're going to fix it. But there's no panic, there's no negativity, and that just, it goes off to the players. They feel that, and there's just a dedication and hard work. And again, like I said, there's a natural born leader trait that he has.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, take care.
Next up, before we get to Nick Foles, we're going to have Cody Whitehair, and he's joining the chat room right now. Hey, Cody, can you hear me? Go ahead and unmute yourself there, Cody. I got you now.
There we go. You good?
Yep. All right, media, we got Cody Whitehair with us, and we can get started. Brad Biggs.
Hey, Cody, thanks for taking time to chat with us this afternoon. How do you feel the group has played as a whole through 6 games, just kind of overall?
Yeah, you know, it's a constant progression. You know, week in and week out, we're trying to get better. Obviously, we're not to where we want to be yet. You know, but we'll continue to get better. But that starts, you know, each week in practice.
JJ.
Hey, Cody, what have you learned about Nick over the last couple of weeks that gives you confidence that this offense will kind of come together with him as the starting quarterback?
Yeah, I would say his confidence and composure. You know, the way he enters the huddle, the way he calls plays, you know, and just the confidence and poise he plays with every day. You know, and Nick's done a great job, and he's continued to get better every week.
Cody, for the TV cameras, do you mind turning your camera horizontally?
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. Adam Hogue.
Hey, Cody, you've played Aaron Donald here the last couple seasons. 2 years ago, you guys had a lot of success against him. Last year was a little bit more up and down. Just what do you remember about those 2 matchups and what you can take away from it as you get ready for this week?
Yeah, I think you just have to get on him early, you know, before he gets going. Obviously, play physical with him, you know, and try and shut him down. You know, and that's going to be our game plan. You know, he can be a game wrecker, and you got to account for him in every way you can.
Mike Berman. Mike Berman. Go ahead, Mike. Chris Emma.
Cody, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. What have you found of Coach Juan's style of coaching and trying to develop and improve you guys as an offensive line as you go throughout these game weeks and, you know, the limited practice abilities that you guys have in between preparations?
Yeah, you know, he takes the very positive route, you know, but he's also big on technique and fundamentals. So, but in order to get better at those and perfect those, you have to work them over and over again. So that's basically what we're trying to do, is just work on those fundamentals over and over again so they become habits for us.
Mark Grody.
Cody, you said that you guys are not where you want to be yet. Where do you guys want, or why aren't you guys where you want to be yet? What has to get better?
I think just execution. You know, we collectively, and it starts with me, obviously, first and foremost, you know, getting guys to the right people, you know, so I can be better there, and just, you know, overall execution as an offense, we can just, you know, get better and better.
Larry Mayer.
Hey, Cody. I know Coward played right guard last year, but how big of an adjustment is it getting a guy in there, a new guy, especially after Bars came in a little bit, and then you had James there. You pretty much had 3 different guys playing there in the last game and a half.
Yeah, Rashad's done a good job. You know, I think the biggest thing for him is just getting comfortable on the left side, you know, and that'll come with time and reps. You know, so we're not worried about it. We're really excited for his opportunity.
Last one for Cody. Chris Emma.
Cody, you've been one of the guys in this team really close with Mitch. What have you seen of him behind the scenes, you know, throughout the building, and how has he been handling, you know, working in this number 2 role? Yeah,
he's done a great job. He's been very positive, and things that, he sees on the sideline and stuff, and trying to help Nick out. He's just done an unbelievable job in that role.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Cody.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Next up, we're going to have Nick Foles. Hey, Nick. You got me, Nick?
Is it working?
Yep, we're good.
Perfect.
Pat Finley.
Nick, I have a question as we're learning about you and about your style of play. You seem to be really streaky during the course of a game. You complete 8 or 9 in a row, 7 in a row, stuff like that. Maybe throw 4 incompletions in a row. Has that always been the case? And where does that come from? Have you always kind of gotten hot or gotten cold during the course of a game itself?
You know what? I just think that, I've always said each game it's its own entity, and the ultimate goal is to win. But sometimes it's just understanding how, we're going to win. Maybe it's, throwing the ball away, or maybe it's not there and, dirtying it, or, trying to alleviate sacks, because that really is a momentum changer and can put you behind the chains. So sometimes those throws are to protect you, and they might look bad, but it's to protect you from getting behind the chains and sacks. So I'm always trying to play the game. Obviously, you want to play smart, you want to be aggressive, but each game is its own entity. So understanding what it's going to take to win the game that day. And the thing that is different each week is the defense are different schemes every week. So there might be a defense that's man-to-man, and you might have some one-on-one matchups. There's going to be zone defenses like last week. There's going to be Tampa Bay defenses, which are zone, but they blitz everywhere. And so now obviously getting ready for the Rams, it's a different defense as well. So the way I play the game is it's ultimately what is it going to take from my position today to win the game throughout the course of the game. And as I get going and get a rhythm and, as an offense, we keep bonding and keep growing, hopefully the efficiency goes up with the completions, everything. But the ultimate goal is always what it'll take to win.
Dan Wiederer.
Nick, you've been pretty forthright and energetic with us and expressing your belief in the people around you, the players and coaches. So with that box check, that communication relationship box checks, what's the next step for crystallizing what you guys do well and what you want to be offensively?
Yeah, I think, the big thing is the conversations and the passion and the energy and the belief. And then it starts like days like today. I mean, we hit the day hard from the beginning, whether it was, our early quarterback film study, then in our blitz meeting, then in our installation meetings, then in our walkthrough practice, and we have meetings after this. It's just doing everything with detail, but it starts with the conversations, honestly. Like this week, Monday and Tuesday, were our off days, or you do your own thing day to get your body right, get your mind right for Wednesday, which is yesterday. I'm all jacked up with the schedule because it's a Monday night game. So today is really a Wednesday, but it's a Thursday. So I try to keep my brain focused. But those conversations early in the week that will help us as an offense, I mean, they're detailed, they're real. And then we start implementing them like right now with whatever the game plan is and how we do it. The walkthrough, hey, what's the tempo? The one thing today is like tempo and walkthrough, getting to the line, making the calls, having that energy. And doing that throughout the day to where when you're done with practice, like you're exhausted because you literally gave everything you had, and that's what we want. And now it's time to rest and recover the rest of the night and have meetings and get ready. So there's no magic potion to this. It's just continue to have these conversations, implementing little changes that will help us, and then ultimately going out there and executing.
Jason Leisure.
Nick, you might be surprised to learn that Tom Brady was talking about you today at his press conference. He was asked about snubbing you for the handshake after the Tampa game. What was your reaction to that when you went to shake hands with him afterward and couldn't find him?
It's happened a few times, and I'm sure that someday Tom and I will have a great conversation about it and probably just laugh at it. There's obviously history there from a big game we both played in once. And then the other, day, on Thursday night, but, it is what it is. And I think he's a tremendous player. And I just, someday we'll have a good conversation. I know, thinking back to the golf match, I think, Peyton was getting under his skin, and when he brought my name up, it got to him. So I don't know why that is. We've never had that conversation, but I think he's a great player and obviously one of the greatest of all time.
How hurt were you, Nick? How many days till you stopped crying?
Oh, I didn't cry at all. I think that it wasn't the first time it happened, and I just sort of, laughed it off and just sort of moved on with my life. And that's just sort of, I'm sure he's doing the same thing.
JJ?
Nick, why just that when you come in during a season, does it sometimes take a little while to get acclimated to everything, to kind of get the offense going the way you want it, compared to other years where it has happened quickly for you? Just kind of as a general question.
I think it's just human nature. I mean, you're with new people, you're with a new offense, you're in a new place, your family just moved. There's a lot of moving parts. So getting the rhythm of where you are and for people to understand you and understand how things are going. Like I'm in this offense, but it's not like I'm stepping into my Philadelphia offense and I can go run it like I did in Philadelphia. I'm starting over from phase one. And there might be some similarities to have that set foundation, but like that takes time. Like in Philly, like they had all of 16 and then, they were going in 17 and, Carson had a good grasp of it. And then I, went in and then we changed it a little bit. We had training camp. We were in a competition, so we were running base plays. And then you get to the season, it's been crazy. So that's where those conversations come in, and it takes time. But the ultimate thing is, and I know you are harping on, is we're finding ways to win. If you look at our team, 2 of the games we won, and one of the games I didn't play in, but one I did, like we had like a 99 point something chance of losing that game at one point in the fourth quarter. That doesn't happen where you come back from that ever, like twice. And there's been other times where we've come back. I think in the Thursday night game, we came back. So I get it. I know y'all heard me say like the prettiness and all that. Like I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty. Obviously, we want to get a better rhythm and do things better. But the ultimate thing in this league is you want to find out how to win games as a team. And we're continuing to work towards those goals of getting better on the offensive side of the ball, as well as the defensive side of the ball and special teams. We're never stopping. But this is just a process. This is a part of the game. And I think it goes back to not losing belief that you will get better if you do the little things right daily.
Kevin Fishbane?
Nick, when you have a guy like Aaron Donald, who could just wreck a game, and he lines up so close to the football. I know quarterbacks always looking at safeties or an outside linebacker or a Mike backer. With a guy like him, what goes into the pre-snap and during the snap awareness of where he's at and what he's doing?
I think trust. Every team has a different plan for players as talented as him. And I was his teammate once upon a time, and it was when he was younger. And I just remember going through practice, and I didn't really know who he was. I think he was rookie of the year, and it was his second year. I'm like, why can't we block this guy? Like we have 2 guys on him, and we are still not blocking him. And then years later, I realized why. The dude's unbelievable. So obviously we have some respect, and teams have different plans for him. But at the end of the day, when you play a game, it comes down to trust in your teammates. You can't focus on him. The dude might make a couple plays in the game. Like he's one of the best there is. So he might, but the game's not over after he makes one play. You keep moving on. So the big thing is going through this week, having our plan for their defense, and then going out there and executing and ultimately trusting one another and playing as one. But these days are huge. Watching the practice film in an hour or so, whenever we will be huge, because then we can make corrections. But obviously he's a talented player, and I look forward to playing against him.
A couple more for Nick. Larry Mayer?
Hey, Nick, if you could be assured that one area of the offense would be much improved beginning Monday night, what would it be?
You know what? It's not really one area. I think that every week we've made incremental changes, and it's continued to improve a little bit every week. And I think that as an offense, just stepping in the huddle and the rhythm and the tempo and getting up to the ball and the flow of the game, I think that would be the biggest thing, like going to the game, that rhythm of it, to where we just feel solid, like where every play we're dangerous and we're good and we're not staying behind the chains and we're executing and doing those little things. I think every week we've made little incremental changes and we're progressing. I'd like to see a bigger progression this week. But you never know. Once again, the ultimate goal in this game is to win the game. It's not to put up 1,000 fantasy points and do that. It's like whatever it takes to win a game, that's what you want to do.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Nick, you said Sunday that the no huddles used as kind of a change of pacing. I had a couple questions about that. What does it mean that it just seems like that's what this offense does best? And what is the key to the timing of when you use it? And also in the course of a game, do you feel like you should be the one to kind of make that call? I guess it's the coach's call, but in the course of the game, you're the quarterback. Do you feel like that should be your call when to go to it, when to go to no huddle?
I mean, I think, most teams in the NFL have different change of pace style offense, different things. It's just when you do it and how you do it. I think the big thing is communication. Like, I'm constantly talking to Coach Nagy, and we have an idea of what we want to do, and the coaching staff has an idea of what we want to do. So there'll be specific times where you implement change of pace or change of this or different personnels. It's always good to have that. And for us to do that effectively is huge. I think it's shown it's something that we can build on. It's shown in games where we've been down and we've had to go no huddle, and it's helped us get back in games that, once again, theoretically, statistically, we should have lost at that point in the game, but we didn't, because our defense did a great job giving us the ball back. Special teams did their job, and we were able to put points on the board with that no huddle. But I think it's great to have that ability to go do that when you need it.
Last one, Dan Wiederer.
Nick, you've played in versions of this offense, and there's always a balance between shuttling personnel groupings in and out and getting individuals into a flow. What have you found is the key to finding that sort of, equilibrium, or whatever you want to call it, to get in that flow collectively?
Yeah, I mean, each team's different. It's really just finding out who you want to be and what personnels you want to live in. And that's really what we're in the process in now, is figuring out what we want to live in, who we want to be. And we're figuring it out. It's not like we're starting from ground zero. We're figuring it out. And the good thing is we've found ways to win games. So we'll just continue to go through this one day at a time and figure out who we want to be. And once again, each team that I've been on has been different, though. It's just, who will the Chicago Bears offense identity be?
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll have a couple more guys, and they'll be calling in from home. So I'll keep you guys updated on timing. So just give me a couple minutes, and I'll give you an update on the next player and a time.